You know how they say great things happen when you're in the right place at the right time? This is true for the foundation of Apple. The modern era of Apple is a force to be reckoned with on the world stage. They have a strong devoted following and managed to take home 92% of all smartphone profits in the first quarter of 2015. Shortly after being shooed out of Apple in 1985, Jobs applied to fly on the space shuttle as a civilian astronaut and even considered starting a computer company in the Soviet Union. It's fairly common knowledge that Jobs had the rare insight to see that technology had a strong emotional tie. But what most people don't know is that he actually dedicated an entire team devoted to packaging and studying the experience of opening a box. According to a 2015 interview with Steve Wozniak, when they met, Steve Jobs had never designed anything as a hardware engineer and had never written any software. Jobs would obviously grow his skill set as the company matured. The iPhone project was so secret that the hardware guys never saw the software, and the software guys never got to see the hardware. Hardly anyone inside Apple knew what the finished product would look like until Steve Jobs revealed it on the stage. Steve Jobs actually served as a mentor for the Google founders Sergey Brin and Larry Page. Apple's first quarter revenue in 2015, just from the iPhone, was $51.2 billion. That's greater than Yahoo's entire market cap at $45.5 billion. And that's 3 times more than Google's total revenue in the third quarter of 2014, or almost twice as much as Microsoft's quarterly revenue. Apple has more than $178 billion in cash, the largest quarterly earnings for any company ever. What makes Apple so successful? A lot of Apple's success can be attributed to taking a different, more human approach to technology. Technology's job is not just to be a tool in life, but to get out of the way and be transparent, almost natural. Apple has historically done this extremely well. Answering the question from another angle, the modern era of Apple has actually had a lot to do with problem solving. What do I mean? Well, since the late 90s and early 2000s, we entered the true digital age. Core technologies such as RAM and CPUs had falling prices, but storage size and speed capabilities were skyrocketing. This meant that there was a huge explosion of new possible product capabilities. It was also Steve Jobs' belief in the emotional aspect of a technology product that set Apple apart, an aspect which many tech companies today still don't fully realize the significance of. So what's the takeaway, the big picture? A couple of kids tinkering in their garage created a company that now has a bigger quarterly profit than all the big oil companies and even Walmart. It happened because they were in the right place at the right time, but also because they were passionate about what they did.
The most important thing, though, I think, is that if you're going to start something new, you have to feel passionate about it, because it's really hard. Most of the difference between people that succeed and people that don't is the people that don't give up.